Let's talk heart to heart. I made an assumption last week. Do you think it was a valid assumption? The assumption that everyone has a spiritual springboard, or that everyone can answer that question. I was a little surprised that no one commented, well, I don't really have a springboard. There was one comment that said, well, I've always sort of had, always felt a sense. But there are people in the world who are not spiritual, and so I was just thinking about that, and a little bit surprised at that none of that came up. But anyway, I want you always to feel free to call me out in the comments. Keep the show your show. If you have a different viewpoint or you're uncomfortable with my assumptions, please do that. But this past week I didn't see anybody object, so I'm just going to keep moving forward. The question is created. I want you to just think about created for just a second. If God created, the concept that we have of God, of being this unbelievable mind, unbelievable person that is unparalleled in the world, the original ideas, creativity, of course, is the original ideas and imaginations. Think of what that means if God created, to be created, by a being who is brilliant beyond anyone we've ever encountered. So as a result, we expect just unbelievable things, just like a universe that's beyond imagination and size, all sorts of intricacies. Everyone always talks about aardvarks and platypuses and different types of beings that are creative, elephants, and all the unique creative ideas that brought things about. But what that means is not simply the world is created in this amazing way. It means that you have been created by this unbelievably brilliant being. You are unique. You are an original masterpiece, not just like a Van Gogh or one of the great masters, but of the greatest master, the unbelievable, unthinkable master of the universe. That's what the Bible is saying here, that it's beyond imagination, and you were created there. That's a pretty cool thought. That's one of my favorite things about that passage, is the idea that God used his unbelievable abilities and applied them to the creation of me and of you. So that's the one thought. The other thing I want to mention to you is it also indicates the extreme value that you have in this world, because God made all these different components. Think about it. He made Jupiter, and he made Pluto, and he knew whether it was a planet or not a planet. We're still figuring that out. But God made all these. He made galaxies beyond what we can even see or know about at this point. But God created all that. But he created you in the same sense and in the same way as a part of it. You're a puzzle piece within the universe that was intricately and carefully made. That's a pretty spectacular thing. That means you have extreme value because you were contemplated in the process of creating everything. That's what's stunning about these 5 words. In the beginning, God created. Those are some of the ideas. So I want to ask the question of you: what makes you you? And I'll go back and look at the comments here for just a second so you can watch some of the comments from last week. But the question I'd like you to answer now is, what makes you you? In what ways are you unique? In what ways has that creative power made you unique, made you uncommon? What are the things that make you distinctly you? What are your best qualities? Those are some of the things that make you you. In what ways are you particularly valuable to the world? The way that you've been created, how are you unique? In what ways are you a different puzzle piece than other puzzle pieces that maybe sometimes makes you feel like you don't fit in a lot of places. But how are you unique? How are you created? What are the things that make you different than other people? That's the question I want you to contemplate. I don't want you to write this, but you also might think about, in what ways are you really strange? In what ways are you really different, in the sense that you don't fit, that you feel out of place? And you're welcome to write that. But I want you to really contemplate this idea. How has God, if indeed God is a creator, how has he created you? What makes you you? In what ways are you unique? And in what ways are you particularly valuable? We end the show with 2.5 minutes of contemplative music. And last week, a lot of people said, I can't read the sayings. They're going by so fast. The goal wasn't to read the sayings. The goal was to give you some contemplative music to write your comments with. So I'll make a deal with you. I changed the ending so the slides go by very slowly. You have plenty of time to read them, but don't. Just make your comments for a bit, and then you can read them once you've made a comment or two. Have I begged you enough? Thank you. Until next time, though, I'd love for you to think deeply, but love even deeper. I'll see you next time on Let's Talk Heart to Heart.